so let's talk about what happens when you use the wrong words at the wrong time, unless you're Donald Trump. In that case, it's just patriotic, right? But if you're a frustrated mom on the phone with the insurance company who's denying your claims, well, you might end up in jail faster than you can say pre-existing condition. So Briana Boston, a 42-year-old mother from Florida, was charged for making a threat during a heated phone call with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Now, what were the heinous words that she spoke? Delay, deny, depose. You people are next. That's it. A line taken from the news about the murder of CEO Brian Thompson, and boom, she's facing charges for terrorism and threatening a mass shooting. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying that this is necessarily okay, but I would like to point out the hypocrisy of arresting a 42-year-old woman for making a statement about something that's in the news when she's frustrated on the phone call with the insurance company. Because when a certain president says, we got to fight like hell and stand back and stand by, and you're very special, to a mob that then walks to the Capitol, beats the hell out of police officers, breaks into the Capitol, screaming, hang Mike Pence, hang Mike Pence. And what happened to them? Well, they were charged and they were arrested and put in jail, but now Donald Trump plans to pardon those people. And all of Donald Trump's followers seem to think that it's perfectly acceptable to go to the Capitol and beat police and break into the Capitol and try and hang the Vice President of the United States and to try and do harm against congressmen and women in the government. Yet a 42-year-old woman on the phone with a health insurance company that is denying her claim, well, she's not allowed to get frustrated at all. Now listen to this clip from the judge.
I do find that the bond of $100,000 is appropriate considering the status of our country at this point. I will, if she is released, she'll be on home detention with GPS conditions, so she won't be released until GPS is provided to her. That will be at her own expense. She can leave for court, attorney appointments, medical appointments, and work. She can go to church, and one day a week she can go shopping for groceries. She can have no contact with anyone from the insurance agency, which is the victim in this case. And anything else, Dave? No weapons, no firearms, no ammunition.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And look at that. Can't you tell that that's the face of a brutal mass murderer, killer, who's planning and plotting to go and do harm to the insurance company? $100,000 bail? Right. Now let's back up and look at what's actually happening here. Briana Boston got arrested immediately after saying words that were linked to a murder. These words that she used were written on bullet casings from the murder of Brian Thompson. Meanwhile, Donald Trump spent months spreading lie upon lie upon lie about the 2020 election being stolen. And if you notice from what the judge says, because of the state of the country right now, yet the state of the country after the election was lost by Donald Trump was pretty dire as well, but that didn't stop Donald Trump from going out there and goading his people to do violent things. And not only was it just during the election, but he kept on making these threats over and over and over again to sitting president, to cabinet members, to members of the Justice Department, but nobody cares about that. His followers are perfectly fine with that. Let's take a look. On August 4th, 2023, he says, if you go after me, I'm coming after you. Is that not threatening? And on December 19th, 2023, Donald Trump said they ought to withdraw all their fake political indictments against their Republican opponent, me, immediately. This is a Pandora's box that works two ways, and it should be closed and tightly sealed right now. Withdraw your political indictments and lawsuits, Joe, before it's too late. Sounds like a damn threat to me. And just take a listen to this.
If the liberal Democrats take the Senate and the White House, and they're not taking this White House, we're going to fight like hell, I'll tell you right now. You know, I was telling Kelly before, you can lose, and that's acceptable. You lose, you go, and you go wherever you're going, and you go and say, maybe I'll do it again sometime, or maybe I won't, or I'll get back to life. But when you win in a landslide, and they steal it, and it's rigged, it's not acceptable.
And there you go. There's Donald Trump knowingly upsetting, adding fuel to the fire of his rabid followers who do commit acts of violence, have sent bombs to Democrats' houses before. We know that these words will incite violence within these people, and nobody cares. His followers don't care. The mainstream media has normalized this as if it's regular behavior. But by golly, if you're a 42-year-old woman and you're frustrated because your health insurance company is denying your claim, you've got to go to prison. And the justification for locking up Briana Boston? The status of our country. That's what the judge said. Because we live in such a tense, volatile environment. Any words that hint at violence are apparently treated like ticking time bombs. But ask yourself, why is the country like this? Who's been pouring the gasoline on America to incite this rabid violence among people? I'll give you a hint. He likes to golf. He hates to read unless it's written by Adolf Hitler. And he thinks covfefe is a word. Now, this isn't just about poorly chosen words here. This is about a system who picks and chooses who gets punished and who doesn't get punished. It's about fear and frustration in a society where the healthcare industry is designed to screw you over. And no one seems to care until something tragic happens, as was the case with Brian Thompson. And let's not forget why Briana Boston was upset to begin with. Her anger wasn't random. She was dealing with a healthcare system that really feels like a system of extortion, denied claims, sky-high costs, endless red tape. People are desperate. And when people are desperate, they sometimes say things that they shouldn't. Meanwhile, Donald Trump's words and those around him, their words, didn't come from a place of desperation. They came from a place of power and entitlement. He wasn't frustrated about paying for an MRI. He was mad about losing an election. And he sent an angry mob of people to the Capitol to break into it. He watched silently as they busted through the windows, beat police officers, stabbing them with U.S. flags, and who was screaming to hang his own vice president.
I'm telling you what, I'm hearing the Pence just caved.
No.
Is that true? I'm hearing reports that Pence caved. No I'm telling you, if Pence caved, we're gonna drag through the streets. You politicians are gonna get drugged through the streets.
Bring out Pence! Bring him out! Bring out Pence!
And everybody seems to just brush that off as if that's perfectly acceptable. And now Donald Trump, once he's in office, probably on day one, is going to pardon all of those people, making what they did perfectly acceptable in society as long as you are committing acts of violence for the people that want you to do it. But Briana's frustration with a healthcare system that is actively trying to screw her over and possibly kill her, well, she gets met with a jail cell and a $100,000 bail. Look, if we're going to crack down on violent rhetoric, it needs to be across the board. You can't throw the book at ordinary citizen while completely ignoring the ravings of violent, rabid mobs that go to our capital and try to overthrow our country. Otherwise, we're just sending a message that there are rules for the rich, and then there are rules for the poor. Briana Boston's words were wrong, but so were Trump's. If we're going to hold people accountable, let's make sure that we're not playing favorites. Please let me know what you think about it in the comments section. Do you think her words should fall under free speech, or do you think that they were meant in a way to make somebody feel threatened? And that was their point, which then wouldn't be covered under the First Amendment. All right, guys, that's it for now. This is the Liberal Loudmouth, and we'll catch you in the next video. Peace.